Hello, in this video we will see the B2B features available in the WebSphere Commerce version 8. From the feature pack 8 of WebSphere Commerce version 7, IBM has deprecated the Elite B2B store. In order to have the B2B features in WebSphere Commerce version 7, Aurora Starter Store should be published as B2B Direct Store. In this toolkit, I have already published the Aurora B2B eSite. The first feature that we will see is the Selfserve Registration for organizations and buyers. Buyer organization and their users can register to the Aurora B2B eSite through the Storefront. Let me show you a sample registration. This is the registration page where you can see two sections. The first section is for the buyers to register inside an organization, and the second section is for the organization to get registered in the store. Let us first register a sample organization. I'm filling out all the mandatory fields. This section is for the admin account for this buyer organization. I'm going to use the same address as my organization. So once we submit the request, you could see that the registration request has been received, but it is waiting for the admin to approve. Site administrators can log into the organization admin console to approve or reject this request. WCS admin is the site admin. In the organization admin console, you could see the approval tab. I can see the list of approvals. We can see that the new buyer admin approval is listed. Let me approve it. Once the request is approved, the buyer admin will be able to log into the site. Yes, the buyer admin is successfully logged in. Once the buyer organization is registered to the store, the buyer users can register themselves to the buyer organization. Let me sign out. This is the same registration page. Now I'll be using the first section to register as a normal buyer user. I should give the exact name of the organization which we recently created. I'm filling all the mandatory details. So once we submit, you could see, similar to the organization approval, this one is waiting for the buyer admin to approve. Let me log in as the buyer admin. This is the My Account page. In the organization section, you could see the buyers to approve notification. So this was the newly created or newly registered buyer user. Now the status is pending and it is waiting for the buyer admin to approve. Until this is approved, the buyer user will not be able to log into the site. I'm approving it. Now let us try to log in as the new user. Yes, the new user is able to log into the site, and you're able to see that the organization is new buyer organization. The next feature which we'll see is the self-serve buyer organization administration. Buyer admin can log into the storefront and he can administer the organization. He can approve or reject the buyer users. I'm logging to the site as a buyer admin. In the My Account section, we have the organizations and buyers page where the buyer admin can edit the organization or can create a new organization or can enable or disable an user account. The next feature which we'll see is the contract pricing. Contract pricing is a unique feature in the B2B model. Admins can create any number of contracts and associate with the buyer organization. Every contract will have its own price list, price rule, and catalog filter. Before we create the contract pricing, we will first create the price list, price rule, and catalog filter. In the Management Center, the site admin can log in and create the contracts. For that, we will have to first create the price list. Aurora B2B eSite is our store. Here, we can create our own price list. Let us give a unique name. In the price list, we can add any number of catalog entries and we can associate price for them. Let me add some sample catalog entries. Minimum quantity and the pricing. Once the catalog entries, the minimum quantity and the pricing are added, we will save it. The second step in the contract pricing creation is the price rule creation. In the price rule tabs, we will create our own price rule. So in the price rule, we will have to add the newly created price list. Once the price list is added to the price rule, we will save it. The third step is the catalog filter. We can either include a category, attribute, and properties, or we can exclude them. The same we can do it for the catalog entries. Let us exclude a catalog entry. We can also delete the catalog entries to exclude. So once everything is added, we can save. So the catalog filter, price rule, and the price list are ready for contract creation. In order to create the contract, we need to log into the Commerce Accelerator. We will select the store name. Inside the Sales tab, we have the list of accounts. For every buyer organization, we need to first create an account. Let us create an account for our new organization. We can create the purchase order. The credit line we can enable. And we can save it. So the account is successfully created. So inside the account, we will be able to create a contract. We can select the duration, and we can refer an already existing contract. The participants will be the buyer organization associated with the account. We can set whether an approval will be required for the order. If the order amount is 10 and above, then there will be an approval sent for the admin to approve the order. In the extended TC, we can select the catalog filter and the price rule. This price rule internally associated with the new price list. We can see that the contract is created, but it is not yet submitted. So we need to submit in order to completely create it. It says a shipping charge type should be mentioned. Let us add the shipping providers, charge type, and the addresses. Now we could see that the contract is getting deployed and the status is getting changed to active. Once the contract was submitted successfully, it will reflect the changes in the storefront. Now this is the storefront for a guest user. Inside the fastness category, the bold subcategory, you could see there are totally 9 products. And the price for the first product is 22.25. We have changed the price for this product and we have removed the second product in our contract. Let us verify this by logging in as the buyer. you could see the total number of products got reduced to 8. That is because the second product was excluded from the catalog filter, and the first product has the price of $100. The next feature which we will see is the buy on behalf. Buyer admin can buy on behalf of the buyer users in the Aurora storefront. Let me first log in as the buyer admin. You could see the option buy on behalf. When I select this, I will be able to select the buyer users. The buyer user is coming in the dropdown. Once I select, the session is for the buyer user. The look and feel of the storefront will change according to the buyer user. Let us try to purchase a product. In the cart, you will be able to see this message when you are in the session. We can unlock it anytime. The order is successfully placed on behalf of the buyer. Since we have set the order approval and the limit is $10 and our order total is $90, this order is sent for an approval. We are in the buyer admin account. We should close this session. Then the admin will see his dashboard and he will be able to see the orders to approve it. You could see the status as pending. Once the order is approved, we can check whether this is listing in the buyers. I'm logging in as the buyer user. You could see that the newly placed order is available for me. The next feature is the purchase order. Buyer users can use the already configured purchase order while placing the order. A reference to the purchase order will be created in the Commerce Accelerator by the site admin. In the Commerce Accelerator, we need to select our store, our business account, and we have the setting for the purchase order. This selection will enable the purchase order in the Storefront Asset Store for this user account. We can check for the uniqueness of the purchase order which will be used in the storefront. Let us see different types of purchase order number. The first purchase order number we will be creating without any spending limit. The second one we will create with a spending limit of 100 USD. Apart from these two purchase order numbers, buyer users can create their own purchase order number dynamically while placing the order. A server restart is required to apply the changes. Let us verify the changes. I'm logging in as the buyer user. Let us try to purchase a product. In the checkout page, now we are seeing this purchase order number field. We will enter the first purchase order number which we created. This one will not check for the spending limit. You could see that the admin has to approve this order, but there were no stopping for the buyer to place this order. Let us try the second use case. Let us try to increase the quantity. We will use the second purchase order number which we created with a spending limit of 100. Our order total is 195. When we try to place the order, we are getting the error message as purchase amount exceeded the spending limit. Let us try the third use case. We will give a dynamic purchase order number. And the order is placed, but it is waiting for the approval. Let us try to place one more order with the same dynamic purchase order number. The next feature is the requisition list. Requisition list, or the list that can be used as an order template. We can add any number of lists, and inside each list we can add any number of items. Let us see how to create this. In the My Account page, we have the requisition list page. Since the list is empty, we will create one. The requisition list is created. Let us see how to add an item to this list. In the product page, we have an option to add to requisition list. When you click on that, we could see the already created buyer list 1 is listed. Or we can create a new requisition list and add this item. Let us select the already created list. Now the item is added to the list. You could see that the item is available in the list. Anytime we can add this list to the current order. When I click the add list to the current order, we could see that the current order has this item. Even though we have added the item to the order, but the item will still remain in the list. This is how we can use requisition list as an order template. The next feature is the saved orders. In B2B Store or a B2B e-site, we can create any number of orders, and we can switch the active order. Let us create a sample order. You could see that totally there are 2 orders available for this user. 15004 is the current order, which already has an item. 15005 is the newly created sample order. We can make this new sample order as the current order. You could see the symbol is transferred. We can add items to the new order. Now we can differentiate between these 2 orders. The current order, which is the newly created order, has 2 items, and the previous order, it had only 1 item. Only the current order will be available in the shopping cart. Let us proceed to order confirmation. The order is placed. When we log in as the buyer admin, we will be able to see the list of orders to approve. In the My Account section, we will see the orders to approve. Totally, there are 4 pending orders. Admin can either approve or reject it. Apart from these B2B features, Aurora B2B also has a unique feature, which is guest browsing and guest shopping. Guest browsing is enabled by default. Guest shopping can be anytime enabled or disabled. These are the major B2B features available in the WCS version 8. Thank you for watching.